Yes, that is right, folks. I am back with another James Bond review. It has been some time. I cannot deny that. I'm just looking at it like, how long has it been since I've seen Moonraker? Oh, well, good 2 months or so, I say. Now, I've actually been watching all the other ones with the wife, and I promised her, yeah, I won't watch any of the future ones until we finish Moonraker. And we just happened to finish For Your Eyes Only today. A 1981 release. It still features Roger Moore going around and trying to stop whatever the threat is that they determined that Ian Fleming wrote about. And this felt like a good return to form after the ludicrous heights that Moonraker achieved and how campy and over the top was. This was nice to have a more grounded, realistic film. When a British ship goes missing, it is up to James Bond to investigate the what's happening here. It's like, okay, who do we possibly have? And who's taking the ships and what's going on? Well, he travels to Greece and meets up with a woman named Milena, and also an ice skater whose uncle Kristen Toss, something like that, um, works with someone who ultimately works with a guy named Columbo, who is supposedly trafficking stuff. Well, it turns out Columbo works for the British Secret Service, where he does smuggle stuff like pistachios and cigarettes and things like that. Is ultimately Christos with the mustache or whatever it was that smuggles heroin. Yes, and of course they have their minions. They have the who is that? Like the figure skater with the who looks German. We know, the blonde, blue eyes and everything, and also another guy who does look a little bit more intimidating, but doesn't say that much. And you get the henchmen. The henchmen here are all right. I guess I was kind of watching to see how. I guess the figure skater's boyfriend that was pretty good at what he was doing, running. So he's in shape and also good at with firearms. He's all right, I guess. I don't know. The other guy, he's a silent, deadly marksman. Whatever. I really don't care about that. I like the dichotomy between the two of like Columbo and like saying, yeah, how they're shipping and everything, but ultimately it's who ships what is not exactly the most illegal, like lesser evil, or at least something that's legal that makes this film. Makes the villains here and there alright, I guess. I just didn't feel enough personality. I mean, I guess the family dynamic was kind of there, but at the same time, it was just like, this is just kind of boring to me. I don't know. Roger Moore he's there to help still get the pieces going along, but he knows how to have his way with two women this time, which I liked. With the figure skater and the and Milena. And I think Milena here I liked her more because she was able to be in coordination with Bond. You know, she was still able to kick some butt on her own, you know, like going scuba diving with him. And she even has a freaking crossbow at the end. So I like this Bond girl a little bit more. She's a little bit more active in the story, not just eye candy. So I am grateful for that. But obviously, what I liked here was the stunts were definitely the star of this movie. Let's see. In particular, favorites was in the beginning when there's Blofeld and he's controlling an airplane. Bond manages to regain control of the airplane and sends Blofeld down into a chute or whatever, and just presume that he's dead. But I'm sure he'll return in another movie. And some of it's just figuring out, you know, going around looking at Greece and Italy. This stuff is freaking beautiful. Probably some of the most just beautiful venues to look at. And yes, it was for your eyes only. One for the lady to see at the end, and two for information about the what was that, one of the minions that got hired. And yeah, definitely, it's the stunt work. The car chasing was around a bunch of tight corridors, which was a nice change of pace from like wide open streets, and you could kind of feel the tension as the guy with glasses is chasing Bond. Tension felt there where they're just like, oh, here's one set of people, here's another set of people. It's actually more close quarters this time, which I liked. But of course, we get some skiing, which is just like third bloody movie with skiing. It's just like, just enough, please. We don't. It's like, what's the difference this time with the skiing? Oh, I don't know. It's a little bit closer. I don't even remember. It's like they go down, that winter skiing event like that. That's the only difference. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. There's also hockey, where a hockey rink. No. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, definitely one of the more fun. I guess one of the more famous parts is like where Bond and Malene are tied up. They're going round and around, hopefully trying to get them both to be eliminated. But Bond is able to get himself freed by cutting the ropes and then tying the ropes around to one of the boats as gets separated over a sequence, I would say, of like 10 minutes or so. It was actually really intense, but really, really cool to see. Just being dragged around, using the terrain underneath to his advantage, all the while trying to just get it taken care of. That was definitely a cool scene. And at the end, when he's climbing the base, getting up the mountain, all the while there's some person who's taking down all the, I forgot what those are called, that Bond is repelling upwards with. That was intense. And when they're all going around trying to eliminate them, good stuff right there. Holy smokes! This felt like a nice, good, subdued climax that we were looking for. It feels more subdued. I like this pretty good overall. This movie felt like a good return to pace. Sheena, yes, and obviously Sheena Easton performed the song for your eyes only. It's got like the 1980s synth and everything, but the synth doesn't overtake her performance, which is a little bit. I felt like her vocals felt new wave-ish, and this was like a new era for Bond, and I liked it. I liked this one overall. But of course, one of the big things was that Bernard Lee, who portrayed M, got stomach cancer, and he made it through like the first 11 movies, but around Moonraker it was starting to get bad. He wanted to try and perform one more time for Your Eyes Only, but unfortunately he could not. And ultimately, he also imbibed on alcohol offset. That probably didn't help matters either. So ultimately, it just led to Q coming in and taking advantage, which was interesting to see, and the Prime Minister and everything. So yeah, Emma's away on business or whatever. So I felt like that was probably the best way to honor what was going on. So yeah, I found so ultimately this movie felt like it was, like I said, a good return to form. More of the practicality returns. Roger Moore is okay in this one. It's the women here that actually take center stage, and it's all right. Forgot to mention there's also something known as an identigraph, in which Bond said, "Hey, put in a nose the size of it. What do the eyes look like? The hair, etc." Able to come up with some guy just based on descriptions like that. And I'm like, okay, that felt a little hokey. And also, there's also a couple of hockey players who were beating the heck out of Bond because they were hired in by the uncle, which I swear was a direct reference to what movie was that I watched? Not Ring of Fire, not 25th Hour. One of the ones I watched earlier with Aaron Paul, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that was interesting to see. I kind of noticed a little influence there. So yeah. So overall, definitely good return to form after the over the top limits of Moonraker. So I do recommend you watch For Your Eyes Only.